When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. As always, I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And every week I promise to bring amazing experts forward that are business building, that have built businesses, that share expertise in a lot of different areas in our life. Mainly we talk about business. But this podcast is about designing your life the way that you want your life to be and not allowing life to just happen to you and being that victim. Trust me, we could get into a lot of stories, and you've heard them over the last 123 episodes already, of some of the life stories that I've shared where I could have remained a victim my entire life. But instead of doing that, I chose to rise above it all and design my life the way I wanted it designed. And our guest, Mary Gaul, today, she has done the same. She has not only designed her life and runs Success Magnified, but she also helps other entrepreneurs design their life and their businesses the way that they want to see their success roll out. And that is, looks a lot different to every different entrepreneur that's out there. And before we get to Mary and talk about that today, I just wanted to thank our sponsor of today's show, Alley Spine Center. And what sets their office apart from other offices is their focus and expertise in treating degenerative spinal conditions, including disc disease, bulging herniated discs, spinal stenosis, neuropathy, sciatica, pain, tingling, and numbness in the arms, hands, legs, and feet, as well as severe and chronic neck pain and headaches. They help me. I'm telling you, I am 100% healed. We specialize in corrective care, not just the treatment of symptoms with physical medicine modalities. So in many cases, the pre and post images are used to help determine the structural improvement of the spine. So if you're someone or know someone who's suffering from neck or back pain, that spinal stenosis, sciatica, or other conditions, and they really haven't experienced a chiropractic integrative corrective care office, then Ally Spine Center is for them. And you can visit them at allyspinecenter.com or call them at 480-809-4700. They are located in Arizona. So just remember that you can always connect with them and find a corrective care center in your area. All you have to do is reach out to them and they'll help you find one in your state as well, because they are connected to many integrative health corrective care centers around the nation. So thank you so much, Ally Spine Center, for being a sponsor of today's show. And I wanted to remind all of you as well, our retreat in November 1st through the 5th is filling up. We only have a couple of spots left. Our November 17th Women's Conference is also filling up. So if you are in Arizona, the November 17th Women's Conference, this is a one-day networking, elevating, and empowering conference. You're going to want to come because we're just going to have a load of fun. If you are out of state, that is okay. Everyone attending my retreat does not live in Arizona, even though it is in Arizona. That is from the 1st through the 5th. This is for a business builder. If you are building a business and you need a business action plan to figure out how to generate more income, that retreat is for you. All of the information is at your fingertips, so you have access to that here. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Mary. I absolutely adore Mary. She is a member of our LEAP community, and she is a certified business coach and advisor, helping with strategy and focus for service entrepreneurs. She helps women business owners create profitable and fulfilling business built around systems and accountability so they can have time to enjoy life too. She really believes in the power of collaboration and celebration to help business owners impact their bottom line, their families, and their communities. Mary Gaul, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I love listening to these interviews when you do them. So I'm delighted to be a guest on your show today.
I mean, you're speaking my language. When we're talking about how to impact their bottom line so it impacts their families and their community, what is the one thing that you get celebration with your clients where they're just like giddy excited that they were able to accomplish something really honestly that they didn't think they were capable of doing?
Yes, I think the biggest thing is having control over their schedule, right? Because when we start our business, it's so easy to get inundated with all of the things that we have to do to run our business and to continue to grow our business and serve the clients that we want to serve. And then they forget that they want to have a life too, right? Or they don't make time for the life too. So during the summers, I'm in Colorado and I lead a group called On the Water Networking, where we paddleboard every Friday morning. And just last Friday, I had one of my clients come out and she's like, I love that you model what you're helping us to build, that you build in time for fun things that you enjoy, and you model that for all of your clients. And she finally was able to clear a Friday morning so she could come and join us. And she's like, I just feel like I'm a boss. Like I can take control of my schedule and take a morning during the week to go paddleboard, right? So I get that a lot in various ways, but really having them feel like they own their business and their business doesn't own them, right? That's what I love helping people do. And when they get to that point, it's such a celebration because it can really shift their whole life.
Yeah. When were the rules written that your business owned you? Like, I'm still trying to figure out what happened. So, somewhere along the way, as an entrepreneur, and you know the sayings out there that says you work only an entrepreneur works 80 hours and gets paid for 40. By
Right.
the way, most of the time they're not even getting paid for the 40.
Right. They're getting paid for 20.
Because those are the ones that Mary and I work with, right? That aren't really getting paid for the 40, or they would just go, get a W-2 job.
Right.
But I find that the passion is what drives the entrepreneur to get out there and want to bring this service or product that they're so passionate about to impact other people's lives, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And with that impact that they have, Mary, they're willing, because of this passion and this vision and this drive, to do what it takes to work. And so I find that they shift to this mode of, I have to just do all of this stuff to make it work. And they're not really moving the needle necessarily in the areas that they could be moving the needle in. And they certainly are trying to do a lot of it manually. And they're just like, it's just like they're throwing darts at, the entire
Yes.
wall, and there's no dartboard on the wall. And they're just trying to figure out, like, what do I do? This is where you come in. So talk about the methodology of really from the time that you meet a business owner. What are some of their struggles? Why are you so passionate about moving them through that? And what is the process for them to really feel like they grow the wings to fly and then they're able to do it?
Yes. It's something that I've done my whole life without realizing it, right? Like we all have these gifts and talents that we are born with, or that we grow up building upon, and we just assume everybody can do the same things, right? So one of my gifts, and one that I use in my coaching with my clients, is being able to really see the big picture of where they want to go and helping them even expand that to be a little bit bigger than they may be comfortable thinking about. But then taking a step back and helping them see all of the steps that they're going to need to take and breaking it down into really small implementable steps. Because I think a lot of times people can either see the big picture, then they don't have any idea how to get there, or they can see all the steps and they get stuck in the steps and they forget to look, why they're doing all of this work in the first place, right? Or if they don't have a clear vision, then they really can get bombarded by all of the noise out there that's on the internet and everywhere else, right? So it's like, oh, try this. You got to be doing this. You should be on this platform. You got to be doing videos and all that, you got to be doing all this stuff. And they feel like they have to do all that stuff, and they lose track of, this is what really is going to get me to where I want to go. And I can say no to all of that stuff, but it's hard because we're bombarded with that message, like, you got to try all these new things, you got to be everywhere at once, and you got to do all this stuff. So where I can come in is I can help them really get clarity again on where they want to go, and then get all those ideas that are spinning in their head out of their head and into a prioritized action plan, and then help them with accountability. So I worked with a client yesterday. We had a coaching session, and she was just like, I am so stuck and I'm overwhelmed and I have too much on my to-do list and I didn't get to any of my accountability tasks. And I was like, okay, let's just unpack that for a little bit, right? So sometimes it's easy for us to get stuck because there's so much we have to do or we feel like we have to be doing. And you just need somebody to talk through it, reprioritize your list. And, in 45 minutes, we were able to reprioritize her list, give her 3 clear action steps with dates for accountability to check in. And she said at the end of the call, she's like, I feel like I can breathe again. Right. And she's running a profitable business, but she just, you get overwhelmed if you're in it by yourself all the time. So that's where I can come in and help as a coach. It's just having that sounding board, giving them clarity, helping them reprioritize that list so they can stay on track to their original goals.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It comes down to clarity. Most of the time, we have this vision of what we want to create or do. And like we said, with everyone just jumps in with, both of their feet and go and just start swimming upstream. And they're not even really sure like where they're swimming to. When I was in Alaska, I watched a lot of salmon spawning happen, up the stream. Yeah. And there was a point where a waterfall was coming down the stream, and we asked the guy, like, they're all going upstream and I see some of them jumping out of the water, but what's going to happen? He's like, well, they're all going to die. And because they really can't go any further up the stream. Right. And I just thought to myself, God, that's so much like business, right? You have no idea how to maybe sometimes do that next step. And and sometimes it's like one person can teach you how to like get on and just kind of float down the river, and and then all of a sudden it becomes easy because you've created the right partnerships, or you've aligned yourself with the right person, or you've learned a piece of knowledge that you needed, or got a good CRM or an automated system. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, that just saved me 5 hours this week.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I don't believe in that farce of, entrepreneurs work 80 hours. I don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
And I take every Friday off, and my Fridays are spent usually with catching up on things that I need to catch up on, or plan or future planning or budgeting for my business or things like that, or nails. Sometimes I go get my nails done or get my hair done or those things that I need to do on a Friday. So it kind of stuck with me in my old job. We would get off at 2:30 when I was in corporate America. So I had the afternoon always to myself. So when I found myself working 6 days a week as an entrepreneur, I was like, why am I doing this?
Right.
I'm not managing my time right. So that's a huge nugget for everyone to take is, are you managing your time right? The number one thing I hear from women, Mary, is I don't have the time to add one more thing to my plate. Do you hear that a lot?
Yes.
I always say, okay, great. Let's see what's on your plate.
Right.
Because that's the number one thing. So what do you find when business owners are coming to you and they're struggling with, I can't add one more thing. Like there's no way I can't do another networking event to get more clients. They just feel like they're stuck, like they're stuck at the ceiling. What do you find is really kind of the issue there?
Yeah. So I, again, go back, help them get everything that they're doing out of their head. A lot of times that energy is just there. They feel like there's so much they should be doing, or maybe they've got their to-do list spread out on 6 different pieces of paper. It's all over the place. So let's get all of those things in one place and then help them reprioritize those things. What are the actions they're taking that are making them money, that are moving the needle, right? So we look at the 80-20 rule, right? So 20% of their actions are leading to 80% of their results, and 80% of their actions are only leading to 20% of their results. So let's take a look at what they're doing, what's actually bringing in money, what's moving the needle towards serving their clients. And then let's look at the 80% that's only bringing in 20, and how can we start to eliminate some of those things that are taking up so much time and energy, and, either outsource it, delegate it, automate it. There's all kinds of things we can do with that list, right? And like I was saying before, some of that stuff they don't even need to be doing. They're just doing it because everybody else in their world is doing it as well and telling them that they have to be doing it. But it's not necessarily good for their business. It's not bringing in business. So it's like I give them permission. Sometimes people just need permission
Mm-hmm.
to not do all of those other things, right? So when we look at it, like what's really moving the needle in your business, let's focus on doing more of those things. And then let's start eliminating some of these other things that are just taking up time and not really serving you, right? And then giving them permission to get rid of those things, which is awesome.
Such a wonderful point. I hear a lot from service-based businesses that are providing coaching services or, from them to the customer directly. And they'll say, I was told I need to create a course and this is going to make me a lot of money. And I always kind of deter them right away to be, if they've never actually worked with clients or, you can build that course through the process of working with your clients and really kind of know what that course needs to be. And it can be put together kind of simultaneously while you're doing that. I always tell them, how much money are you generating? If they're not generating money or very little, I'm going to give them tactics right away to generating money because I tell them once you're able to generate money, it starts building the momentum in your business. And then you're able to be able to outsource because so many people see it as a cost and not an investment.
Right.
But the Who Not How book is one of my favorite books ever. No one has read that book. Please go get that book. It talks about getting who's in your business. How do you get, and that could be an automated CRM system that you invest in to do automated emails for you after networking events or whatever it is. But the Who Not How is about getting people that already know how to do what it is that you need done, but you don't have that skill set, or it's going to take too much of your time. And it's not a money-making process for you.
Yes.
So
I also own a VA service that I'm in the process of selling. So it's 10 years old. That business is 10 years old and I've grown it. I have a team of people that works with me to serve our clients here. And it's always amazing to me when somebody wants to hire a VA, but they're not really ready, right? They're not mentally ready, or they don't have a plan for how they're going to outsource those tasks. It takes twice as long to get the VA up and running and, really in sync with that person. Some people are ready to okay, get this off my plate. And, that's one of the things I help them with as the coach is when we're doing our strategy sessions, really, I can help them look at their list of everything they're getting done. If there are things that they want to keep doing, but it's not in their skill set, it's not in their giftedness, it's not related to bringing in money directly, or servicing the clients, then, it's like, let's have somebody else outsource that. I just was working with a client last week and she's asking me about video editing services or software. She's like, what do you use? I was like, I hire somebody. I don't need to know how to edit videos. I know the basics, I can do this, but I was like, and she doesn't either. She's a very successful executive leadership coach. She does not need to go and spend an afternoon learning the software to edit videos. I was like, hire an expert. Here's the expert I use, right? So, but we feel like with Google, and you can Google it or YouTube, we can learn all this stuff we need to learn, right? But again, it's like, what's the highest and best use of your natural gifts and talents? And that learning a new software is not in her wheelhouse. And so I was like, you need to know enough to ask the right questions of the expert that you hire, but you don't need to go and learn a new software that you'll use once or twice a month, maybe, if that often, right? So again, giving people permission to not have to do that, because we feel like as entrepreneurs, we have to know a little bit about everything, right? And thanks to YouTube and Google, we can know a lot more than we used to, but at the same time, we don't need to learn all of the stuff that's out there.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, when I published my first book, I did not ever try and self-publish. I used someone who was a publisher, and that allowed me to learn more about how to make a book an Amazon #1 bestseller, how to be able to be a good writer, a better writer. And then I was the one responsible for the authors in the book and communicating with them because I was leading that. And then I didn't have to worry about designing the cover or any of that. There were other people out there that were able to do that. So I think we do have to remember so much. We need to remember that there are who's out there of people that can help us move our business faster. And we have to look at it as an investment. It is, if we're looking at money, is it being an investment? Hiring a coach like Mary is an investment. Investing in a community is an investment for the people that you're going to meet. There are a lot of free opportunities out there in addition to the investments that you make, but I've never seen anyone be able to grow a business without first making an investment in themselves in the business. So they're expecting other people to invest in them, but they're not willing to put the investment in first. And I think that's a mind shift. Wouldn't you say, Mary?
Yes, it is. It is. And, some of I work with solopreneurs, so they are out there and they're, in this kind of bootstrapping phase of their business typically. And so, I know every penny counts. And so I really want to make sure I'm giving them as much value as possible. And they're walking away with tactics and strategies that are really going to help them move their business forward. Right. So it's not just come and, buy another course or something like that. That's why working with a coach like you or like me, one-on-one, where we can really learn what's happening inside a person's business and then make an impact that's going to impact their income right away, and how they're providing their services and who their, ideal client is and all of those kind of things. We can go into all of those details, but yeah, we can help with all of that stuff. And it does take an investment. But hopefully, if you're working with the right person and they're giving you, tactics that are going to start impacting your bottom line and your time and your productivity and those kind of things, then you're going to see results, faster than you would on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mary, I just want the listeners to know, you owned several successful businesses. What kind of really led you to wanting to work with other business owners, because you were running your own businesses? Did you want to share that story with us?
Yeah, I always worked in the corporate world in marketing and communications. And then for 10 years, I ran a law firm and did everything but practice law there at the law firm, and really learned a lot about running a business, right? All aspects of the business. And then when it was time for me to leave there, because I had done as much as I possibly could there, I had some friends talk to me about starting my own business, and that wasn't really on my radar at the time. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to run my own business. What would I even do? And they're like, you could do a lot of things. So I started paying attention, and this VA, virtual assistant business, kept popping up in different places. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I've got all those skill sets. I can help other business owners get done all the stuff that they don't have time to get done. So I started that business 10 years ago and quickly got to capacity, which was great within 6 months. But then even though I'd helped other businesses and in the corporate world had those roles where I was helping people grow their business, I couldn't do it for myself. I was stuck, right? Because I just couldn't see it for myself. And so I found a business coach, I found a peer advisory group, and that really shifted how I was running that business, right? It helped me bring in other contractors and still be able to take on more clients, get some free time back in my own life, right? So I've been where these entrepreneurs are that I'm helping. I've been in that situation. So I know what they're feeling. I know that mindset shift that has to happen. And then within about 2 years, I was like, in about a year after working with my business coach, they said, you are a natural business coach, because it's how I show up, right? It's the things that we don't even realize we're doing. But they were saying, you're giving great business advice. You're doing that for your for your VA clients, even. They're getting a free business coach on the side, right? And so I got certified to be a business coach and started Success Magnified 8 years ago already, and have been doing that ever since. And I just really love working with small businesses. I believe that small businesses and entrepreneurs are the lifeblood of our communities. And, we invest in our schools. We sponsor the local baseball team. We hire people locally. So I just love the fact that entrepreneurship it's possible to start a business. It's easy to start a business in the United States. We're very blessed to be in the country that we are, and it's easy to start a business. It's not so easy to keep one going. And so that's why my goal is to help change that statistic about only, 50% of businesses are still in business after 5 years. They don't have a plan. They don't have somebody to encourage them, to give them really solid advice to move forward. And so I just really am passionate about helping entrepreneurs because then they can build the life that they want to, right? They're not stuck in this 9 to 5 job with no inspiration for their life, right? Where they can be doing something that brings them joy, that provides a service for their clients, and lets them build a life that they want to live. So that's why I do what I love. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's so important of what you're saying, and so true, that in order to be able to build a business, I too have had business coaches, health coaches, you spiritual coaches, speaking
Right.
coaches, a coach pretty much in every area that I needed to improve in. And I'm always willing to invest in that because those investments have always brought me more opportunities. And it's
Right.
built my net worth in so many areas, including my confidence, including my bank account, including the massive connections of people that it's brought into my life. And I think we just need to realize that it's on every level, that investing in yourself to be able to have someone guiding you, they are able to see things in your business and in you that you're not able to see because you kind of have this tunnel vision.
Right.
And I think it's so important that what you do, Mary, with Success Magnified, it's exactly that, right? It's how do you get down to a magnification level for them to be able to get the clarity to build that out for them to have the success that they're looking for and whatever that is. So congratulations on that. I know that you have some peer advisory groups. You have some events coming up. Did you want to share what's really on the horizon for Success Magnified and for you and what's happening?
Yes. So peer advisory boards, again, they were such a game changer for me as an entrepreneur, as a new entrepreneur, to have that group of safe space where I could go and ask questions about what's really happening behind the scenes. Like, how do I do this? How do you guys deal with taxes? What are you guys doing for your banking system, right? What's your CRM that you're using? And really get details and tap into the knowledge of other entrepreneurs in that safe space each month. So that was a game changer for me, and I absolutely love doing those. I have virtual ones. I have some that meet in person here in Colorado. But it's a small group of 7 entrepreneurs. We meet once a month and we do a deep dive, and we have that sense of celebration together because we know what it took to accomplish what we're getting done each month. And then that connection, contribution, and then accountability, of course, right? We write our goals down and we check in with them during the month and then at our next meeting. And then I have my one-on-one coaching. So recurring monthly coaching is kind of like that. You know, they say if a plane takes off and their pilot's not constantly making small adjustments, then they could end off 3 to 5 degrees, which could get them to a completely different city, right? So just like an entrepreneur, you have your vision, but if you're not constantly checking in and making these tweaks to keep you on the path, you can get off the path so easily. So that monthly check-in, the coaching programs are great for those kind of things, that you know where you want to go, or maybe you don't know where you want to go. You need to get that clarity, and then you need somebody to help you stay on the path. And then I have some, workshops coming up. They're always different each month. So I'm skipping September because I'm going on a nice vacation to Italy for a couple of weeks. And then this will come out in the fall. So you'll just have to check my schedule and see what else is coming up. If this comes out after my next course, which is all about money mindset, which is going to be nice in October. And then next year, I'm excited to announce I'm doing an international retreat, an international business retreat. So stay tuned for more details on that, dates and more exciting stuff coming up for 2024.
Those are so much fun. It's so much fun. So successmagnified.com. You can reach Mary at successmagnified.com. All this is at your fingertips. You can also book a 30-minute focus call with her. So I highly suggest that you click on the link and do that and connect with her at Mary Gaul Entrepreneurs Coach on LinkedIn. That's another way for you to connect with Mary Gaul on LinkedIn. So Mary, thank you so much for being a guest today, for sharing all the wisdom and nuggets. And it's so true. It's literally as simple as you need to get clarity. And that is what Mary is working on with you. So I highly suggest that you jump into one of her peer advisory groups, hire her directly, or maybe even let her know if you're interested in buying her VA service business that she is selling as well. She might already have a buyer for that,
Yes.
but she's already got a buyer for that.
Yeah.
So, but if you're looking for a VA, Mary can connect you with that business, because I cannot run my business without my team. I cannot. And to go back to where I was in the very beginning when I was doing it all myself, it really just makes my, throat tighten up. So I have an amazing team. There's no way Mary could take a 2-week vacation in September if she didn't have an amazing team behind her. So I'm just going to remind you, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. If this is what you want to do, if this business is important to you, then it's your responsibility to step up and invest in what is next for you and your business. Get the guidance that you need. Have that peer advisory board, have that business coach by your side to be able to assist you in getting where you need to go. That is really the only way that this works. It really is. Because then if not, you're just out there swimming upstream, just like I saw in Alaska. And before you know it, there's a waterfall and you have no idea what to do. And like he said, they're just going to die. You don't want your business to die. And that's, a small analogy of what really I see happen. A lot of women close up shop and they say, I'm going back to get a job. And I know that's not what they want to do. So again, investing in the right people to be by your side, I highly recommend Mary. So definitely reach out to her at successmagnified.com. And for all of you listening, thank you so much for making our podcast so popular and bringing us to the top 1% globally. We really appreciate you and all the downloads, and for you being here week after week as we bring experts forward who can help you design your life. And until next time, everyone, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.